It's great to be here. I'm a little intimidated by this crowd because I have no idea what I can actually bring to this party. It was an excuse to be able to spend some time with Phil and Craig and, of course, John Udell, who was part of the conspiracy to which he alluded to make something out of RSS and some of the technologies that now have been blown out of the water by Twitter and Facebook. So I've prepared some slides which are my attempt at sort of, I feel like the blind man feeling around the toes of the elephant. That's about as close as I can get to understanding what's going on here, but I think it's instructive for hopefully some of you to see how I'm viewing what's going on right now. And, of course, I want to correct some misinformation by Mr. Udell about the iPad. Everybody's going to be on iPads. It's going to be compulsory. I mean, Android's great, but, you notice that they couldn't get the Nexus 1 onto Verizon. What do you think that means? What do you think that means?
I think it means Verizon has another piece of hardware in store.
Yeah. Is it possible that the carrier cartel has still got a little juice in them, and that they're not exactly caving to the Google scenario about open? I think that's true. All right, so are you seeing anything on there? Okay. So this is a picture that I took, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And that's Dave Weiner.
The lights?
That's Dave Weiner on the left, who John alluded to several times in his conversation, acknowledged to be, if not the father, certainly the popularizer of RSS. Yeah. And arguably the first blogger. Certainly with radio, his seminal software that combined an onboard HTTP stack on a client, he presaged a lot of what we're looking at here as client side starts to build out. And to his right is Ray Ozzie, who is now the chief software architect of Microsoft. So this is if I recall correctly, this is in Berkeley when Microsoft and Ray were announcing, what was that, ActiveSync or the precursor to ActiveSync, John? Do you remember that? Was it FeedSync, which was the first sort of experiments around what then was built out with Live Mesh? Right. So these two guys, I mean, Dave is like wondering whether he's about to get screwed again by the big vendors, and Ray is trying to do the right thing, and is about to screw Dave. And the voice of the opposition will be portrayed by John Udell. So you really should get a mic so that this can be more balanced. Okay, so everybody does hello world. I'm saying lookout world. Adventures in context. I have no idea what Craig Burton means by context, but I know that that's what I'm supposed to be talking about. So, in May 2009, I wrote a post called RSS, Rest in Peace RSS. And it was basically, I was in a little altercation with Mr. Weiner, and I'd had enough, so I decided to say what I'd been thinking for about 2 months at that point. And this link is something that came into email this morning. I still, even though I've moved on to Salesforce.com as a executive, I'm still holding down the fort, at least on a weekly basis, writing a column for TechCrunchIT, which I'm the founding editor of, which is the enterprise version of TechCrunch. And WordPress pumps out, when there's a citation, a trackback, it comes into my email. So this is May 2009. Today is April 2010. Another comment on RSS is dead. So I can't, because of the limitations, which I'm sure you're all glad to hear, of the iPad, I can't show you the screen, but there are some 980 comments on this post. It just keeps on giving for what it's worth. And, fundamentally what I was saying, and what I'm still saying is that RSS is still dead. Now, Mr. Stay doesn't agree with me. Mr. Udell doesn't agree with me. I don't think anybody agrees with me. But, who's that? Excellent. You want to finish this for me? It was killed by Twitter. Now, what I mean by that is that those of us who loved and honored RSS as a transformative technology, you will agree with me that it's transformative, right, John?
We disagreed about that.
Yeah. I believe I heard you say something to the effect of, well, yeah. Good point. So you've already been the good cop. So what I think we agree on is that RSS in its time was a transformative technology which changed our ability and sort of honored the fall of the gatekeepers, or what we thought was the fall of the gatekeepers at that time.
Testing.
Testing 1, 2. Okay. I don't know where I was. Yeah, the life of our RSS. There were readers. The first reader that I used was also the first creator of a blog that I used, and it was Dave Weiner's Radio 8. And that was followed by a program written by a friend and a employee of Dave in his original company called Net Newswire, which was an RSS reader for the Mac. It was terrific, and it got to about 1,200 or maybe 12,000 unread items on the Mac, at which point it slowed the machine down to a crawl. So I had to go looking for something else. About that time, something called Bloglines appeared, and basically was a server-based RSS aggregator container. And then Google came along and killed it with Google Reader. And then we flash forward to May 2009, and I had maybe a year earlier turned off Google Reader because I was just overwhelmed by the swarm of information and just had no time to even look at the unread marks. I mean, the features that were being discussed in those days were how, like a grease monkey script which could turn off the count